Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bremster, and I'm coming to you with the start of a new month on my channel. So earlier today, like very early today, like 20 hours ago or something, I released my first ever monthly channel showcase. On that showcase, I included just a quick preview or the quick thumbnail of all of the videos I did in January. And below that was a list of the links to how you could jump straight to those videos. So you can watch a short video and then see any puzzles that interested you that you may have missed and jump straight to them. So I thought that would be an interesting thing to do, and I will see how the feedback on that goes. Another thing I'll point out before I jump to this puzzle is if you have a look at the end of this video, there's kind of something coming that you may be interested in. But anyway, onto this puzzle. This is Viva Lost Wages by Andrewsarchus, and this puzzle is a little bit intimidating. There's a lot going on in this puzzle, but it's incredibly pretty. So when this was sent to me, I kind of just had to jump in and add it to my queue. I'm actually under some time pressure for this one. There's been a lot going on and I haven't had a chance to record, so I really need to get this one done, and it's a bit scary. So rules explanation. Yeah, I'm going to be jumping up and down the rules on this one because it's going to take some time. So normal Sudoku rules: in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. That's the easy bit. Columns 1, 4, and 9 are indexing columns. This is 1, 4, and 7 are indexing. This is like 1, 5, 9. So whichever digit goes in the 1 column, the 4 column, or the 7 column will indicate where in that row you put that digit. So for example, if I was to put a 3 here, that would mean the 1 in this row has to go in column 3. If I was to put, say, a 6 here, that would mean the 1 in this column has to go, in this row has to go in column 6. And the same rule applies in column 4 and in column 7 in this puzzle. So that's something to wrap your head around. Slot machine. I've definitely not done slot machine before on my channel, but I have done it before. The way slot machine works is these are like the barrels of a slot machine. The digits that go into these columns will be in the same order in each of the columns, but they're rotated. So we know where the 7s are, which is nice. I haven't seen that in a slot machine before, given digits of the same thing. But the digit that goes under the 7 will be the same in each column, and the digit that goes under that will be the same in each column, and the digit that goes under the same. So basically, if you were to line them next to each other, but because it's they would be the same, but because it's a Sudoku, they can't be next to each other, so they have to be rotated. And what slides off the bottom will slide onto the top. Between lines, the cherries are between lines. So what goes on the stem of the cherry must be between the cherries themselves. X sums, and this is where things get a little bit weird. A and B are X sums, and the way X sum works is this is the total, and the sum of the first X digits looking up these columns will be the total of A or B. So let's say A was 25 and this was a 4, then the first 4 digits here would have to sum to 25. How we get A and B, I'll explain in a minute. If A was 35 and this was a 7, then the first 7 digits would have to sum to 35. And that's the way A and B work as X sums. C is a little killer that looks all the way along the negative diagonal. So whatever C is, all of those digits will sum to C. How do you find A, B, and C? Well, A, B, and C are the values that are in the cherries read left to right. So one of these will be A, one of these will be B, and one of these will be C. We do not know which, so we have to determine that ourselves. The other rule in play is there are these cherries in the grid, and they will be the values that are on the stalks of the cherries themselves. So these 3 cells will have the same value as these 3 cells, but we do not know which is which. And with that, all of those rules in place, this should be solvable. It is solvable. Is it solvable by Brimster? This, if you can see this video, the answer was yes. The duration will give you an idea of how hard I found it. I've done a lot of 159 recently, so here's hoping. So let's give this a shot. Now, one thing I did notice while explaining it is this is a indexing 7 column and I've got a bunch of 7s. So I immediately know that is an 8, that is a 5, and that is a 2. I have a beginning. Which means because this is a between line, one of those has to be a 9. But this has to be an X sum or a little killer. So surely there's no way that's the 9. Because, I mean, it can't be an X sum because an X sum has a maximum of 45. Could it be the little killer? So the maximum you can put on here is 24. 24 times 3, or 25 times 3 is 75. So it'd be 72. No, this cannot be a 9. So this is the 9. This is on a slot machine column. So that becomes a 9 and that becomes a 9. That's something, I suppose. So what is the maximum value I can put on this? I just said it was 72. Can I get to 72? Well, I can't put a 9 on there or on there. So the maximum I can put here is 21, which is 6, 7, and 8. And the maximum I can put here is 21. 21 and 21 is 42. 42 plus 24 is 60 something. So the maximum I can put in these is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one can't be 2. So, oh, and I've done a bit of 159 recently, so there's a bit more going on here. Because the 1 has to be in one of those 6, that can't be a 1. And because the 4 has to be in one of those 6, because of that indexing column, that can't be a 4. Oh, and it can't be a 5 either. Wait a minute, this has got to be 36 or 69? Now, we did determine this could get as high as, what was it? This could be as high as 21 plus 21 was 42. 42 plus 24 is 66. This cannot be 69. This is a 3. So 3 comes out of those. And I've already got some stuff. One of these is a 39. And I have to put an 8 on a cherry. This is a 4 or a 6, which means there is a 7 in there. Now, how do I explain that? Oh, that is a 7. So that is a 7. Okay, this is going to make it easier to explain. That is a 7 because that is a 3. So that's nice and useful. This is a 4 or a 6. Now, the reason it is a 4 or a 6 is because if this was, I mean, it can't be 7, 8, or 9 because it's in the box, but I'm going to use the example of one of these in each of these columns must be a low digit, 1, 2, 3. One of them must be a middle digit, 4, 5, 6, and one must be a high digit, 7, 8, 9. And this is true in all of these bands. So actually, I know this is 7 or 9 as well. And the reason for that, so one of those is a 7. And the reason for that is if we use the 7 in the middle group here as an example, if I was to say try and make this a 1, while this is a 3, this 3 would put a 7 here, and if I make this a 1, that would put a 7 here, and I end up with 2 7s in this box. So when you look at these bands, because you can't repeat 7s in these boxes, you must, within the 3 within the same boxes, make sure that you don't duplicate in the boxes. So you must have one that positions in this box, one that positions in this box, and one that positions in this box. So one must always be 1 to 3, one must always be 4 to 6, and one must always be 7 to 9. And we will find in the final solution this will hold true in all of these. So there's a 7, there will be a 7, 9 down here. There will be a 1 down here. So we now know there is a 7 down here, and I could determine that from the 1, 5, 9, and as well as from the fact that I've got the pair of 7s over here. So you can start making those deductions. Now we know there might be more I can do. So I know 9 is in one of those two. But that is an interesting thing for me to keep an eye on. Now we know there is an 8 in one of those because of the 8 here. And these are slot machines. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 lower than the 9. So if this is the 8, then the 8 is there. So the 8 is going to either be here, here or here, here or here, or those. Those ones there must be the 8s. So in this box, we know that the 8 must go in there. Which is useful. It's not as useful along here. I'm going to remove the 8s from those, but we know that those blue cells in those columns must contain the 8s because I must put an 8 onto a cherry, and because of the slot machine value, if whichever one is going, like if this is the 8, that is going to cause 8s to be in those cells. If this is the 8, it's going to cause 8 to be in, hang on, this is tricky. If this is the 8, it'll be those cells. If this is the 8, it'll be those cells. And if this is the 8, it'll be those cells because it must rotate. But it does force the 8s out of all of those yellow cells, which means that can't be an 8, which means that has a maximum of 6. That also has a maximum of 6. That's got to put some constriction on these. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am pencil marking like mad. I can't put 3 in them. So these can only be from 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they can't be 5. And they can't be 5 because I can't put either a 1 or a 4 there. So these are from 2, 3, and 4. That's odd. Now, if this was... Well, that one can't be 2. Because if that one was 2, I'd have to put a 1 there because of the indexing. And then what am I going to put lower than the 2 on the between line? These would both be from 4, 5, and 6, and 2 would not be between them. So that is not 2. So that means that I can't put a 1 there because I can't put a 1 on a between line. So that can't be 4 either. That's 3. That's not 3. That puts 1 right there. So now the 4 is either here or here. Hang on, that takes 1 out of both of those. So one of those has to be 2. So I can take 2 out of both of those. I can't put a 2 there because I can't put a 1 there. 1 is now in one of those 3. The fact is, one of those have to be 1? If one of those isn't 1, how do I make that between line work? Because I'd have to put a 4 on a between line with 4, 5, and 6. I put it on the between line is then 5 and 6. No, one of those has to be 1. This is not the 1. This is not a 6. So this is 4, 5. Hang on, this is higher than the 3. This has to be lower than the 3. This is the 2. This now has to be from 7, 8, and 9. This is an 8 or a 9, so the 1 in this box is over here. This is this cell. So this is 1, 4, 5, and 6, and it can't be a 1. So this can't be a 1. This is the 1. Which means this is the 4, which means that is not a 4, which means that is not a 4. Four can no longer be there, so that can't be a 2. That's the 4. Four. No, 7 is in one of those 2. Which is still fine. 1 is in one of those 2. Except it's not. 1 can't be there. That's a 5 or a 6. That's the 1. Which means this is a 9. This is not a 9. This is 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 5, 6, 8. I can't put 8 there because we know 8 is in one of those. That is not the... That is the 8, which puts 8 right there by Sudoku. This is a 5, 6 pair, which makes that a 4, which makes that a 7. This is Nutsburger. Sorry, I thought I should remember. This is bonkers. These are 2, 5, and 6. Except there's a 5, 6 pair in that box. That has to be the 2. There's no 2 here. That's a 5, 6 pair. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So below this 5, 6, 7, 9, 5, 6. Oh, I know this is 2. Arg! So that's 2, so that's 3. And below that is another 5, 6. So these are 5s and 6s. $39 and $42? Are you kidding me? How's that gonna work? They're huge. Well, I know that one of those had to... Oh, I've got the others as well, 3 and 4. So I actually know these digits. Actually, I know all of these digits because these are slot machines. These are 3, 4, and 8. Because whatever goes into these values must slot machine into the other blue cells. Which means these are given. Those have to be 1, which is an indexing cell. That's a 2, that's a 5, and that's an 8. So this is a triple, 1, 6, and 7. So this is a triple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 5, 9. That's not a 2. So this is a triple, 3, 4, 6. I don't know how I've clicked with this puzzle. I've just looked at the clock and I'm only like 20 minutes in. This is insane. I have done a lot of 159 puzzles recently. And you remember how I said there would be a low, a middle, and a high, 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 low, middle, high. This is just something that you learn with. If you go back to, I think I did an introduction to Broken 159 just before New Year, and then I did on New Year's Day I did another puzzle called Seesaw. I think that was by Chile from the Broken 159 pack. And yeah, those puzzles are some of the ones I've been doing, some of the Broken 159. Um, so, okay, so 2 has to go in one of those two. 5 has to go in one of those two. This is looking like just a bunch of huge deadly patterns. So 1 is being indexed by 2. 4 could be almost anywhere. 1, 5, 2, 7. 4 is wide open. 7, 5, 1, 8. 4 is wide open. 4. Wait a minute. 4 is indexing itself. 3, 1, 7, 8. 4 and 1 are indexing each other. 3, 7. That's fine. 9, 1. 4 and 7 are indexing each other. 1, 6, 7. So 1. Oh, this is 1, 6, 7. So 1 has to be down here, which I've got from. 4 can't index itself. So in this box, 4 has to be here. So 2 has to be down here, which means that can't be the 2. That has to be the 2. So 2 is down here. 4 is not as restricted over here. It could go. Well, in this row, I know that it has to come from 2, 5, or 8. So this is 2, 5, or 8. So how the hell do I break out of this? Sorry, heck. Bobbins. Bobbins is what I'm supposed to say. Um. Oh, wait a minute. I am not going to look at the little killer clue because that has way too many options on it still. What I am going to look at is these X sums. So one of these has to be an X sum. 39 or 42 must be an X sum. 39 is the smallest. 39 in 3, not going to happen. 39 in 4, also not going to happen. So whichever one of them happens on the X sum is going to be an 8 clue. So if it's the 39, I will need to put a 6 outside, which is not possible. So it will be the 42 that is the 8x sum clue. So one of these needs to be a 3. So this is not a 3. One of these needs to be a 3. And one of these needs to be an 8. Right. So we know that the 42 is an X sum. So one of these is going to be an 8 with a 3 at the top. How does that help me? Well, it means the other one is going to be a 3 or a 4, summing to 15 or 16. But there's a lot of ways of doing that, surely. Hang on, except this column is already... That's already 13, but it's 13 in 3. So if I add a 4 to it, that's... So I don't think I can do it in this column. So I need 15 or 16 as an X sum in one of these two columns. The other one is the 42. Let's see if I can do it here. I can't use the 8, it's a 3 or a 4. So if this is a 3, I need 2 cells to sum to either 12 or 14. One of them is a 2. I would need 3. Yeah, I'd need 12 or 13. This would need to be a 10 or an 11. If this is a 4, then these would need to sum to 11 or 12, but they already sum to 13. So this is not the teen X sum. This is the 39 or 42, and it can't be the 39 because it must be an 8. In order for it to be a 39, that would need to be a 6. This is the 42 X sum, and that right there, my friends, is a 3, and this is an 8. There is no 8 here. This is a 4, and this is a slot machine. So we go 9, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 8, 3, 4. We go 9, 5, 6, 2, 5, 6, 8, 3, 4. Now we've got this must be this. So 3 plus 8 is 11. So this must... Well, if I add 6 to this, then this is 17 and I can't make the total correct. This must be 5 and 6. Now I've got all of the slot machine. Above the 8 is 5 and then 6. Above the 8 is 5 and then 6. That makes this a 5. Makes this a 5. That's a 9, that's a 2, and that's a 5. There is no 5 there. In fact, there's no 2 in any of those, so that becomes a 2, which is the position of the 4. I had completely forgotten about the indexing while I was doing all of this. So now I've got an 8x sum, which sums to 42. I've got a 3x sum, which is 16. But let's finish some of this first. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. That is now a 6, so there is no 6 in there. So this is 3 or 4. So in this row, we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this cannot be a 6 because I can't put a 4 there. So this is the 6. Oh, and there's a 4 there. So that's a 3 and that's a 4. So that is looking at it. That makes that the 3. This column actually looks kind of interesting to me now because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5, 6, 8, and 9. Now down here I can't put 5 or 8. So this is a 6, 9. So I take 6, 9 out of here. Now 4, oh, that's the 5. That's the 8. And I had the 4s. So 6, 9. So 4 must go either there or there. And that 4 is mapped from there. Okay. So this is actually a known triple as well. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 7. Now I had 4 not there because of that 4. So 1, 4, 7. This is not a 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is 6 and 9. That makes this 7, which is indexing itself. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 8 and 9, which is resolved by the 8s and 9s I already have. This is now a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 6, and 9. And this is a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. I can't put 4 down there because of the 4 I've already got. Now, 1. That's not a 9. Hang on. That's not a 3. Hang on, 3 can't be there either because of that 3. That's a 7, that's a 4, that's a 3. That 4 means that's a 9 and that's a 6. The 6 means that's a 1. The 1 means that's a 7, which means there's no 7 in there. That means that's a 4, which matches that 6. This 9 matches that 4. The 2 matches that 4. There is no 1 in here anymore. The 7, oh, that 7 means that's the 9 and that's the 6. The 6 means that's the 1, which is self-indexing, making that a 6, which makes that the 1 and makes that the 7. And that completes Viva Lost Wages. Actually, what I should check is this 39. 7 plus 5 is 12, 13, 16, 19, 23, 27, 30, wait, no. 7 plus 5 is 13, 14, 17, 23, 27, 31, I can't math. 7 plus 5 is 12, 13, 16, 22, 26, 30, 39. Yes. I can't math. Okay. So I didn't even use the little killer clue. But that maybe because Little Killer is more familiar to most people than the 159 rule, which I used in column 147. That was an amazingly tricky puzzle. I mean, I raced through it, but boy, it was fun. The trick with the X sums clues. Yeah, wow. Well, thank you, Andrewsarchus, for sending that to me. That was amazing. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And yeah, just in a minute, like just a few seconds now, you'll something is coming. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and good luck with your solving. Bye. Keep watching. Seriously.